Yo, welcome back to Team Red Titan. I'm joined again with Mikey Boy Wells here. So we're going to do, because we're going to do a little comparison video with the Sideshow Collectibles premium format Punisher exclusive and the Iron Studios. Master Replica? I can't remember their line, but it's basically their premium line, quarter scale Punisher. And we're going to talk about these pieces. Because it's funny, when I did the review, you know, it was deemed a little bit harsh. We had a crowd of like fucking 8 or 9 collectors. Yeah, everyone was like, oh, it's a bit harsh. Oh, I don't like Iron Studios. And then we pull the Iron Studios out. Everybody starts changing their tune, and it's like, actually, Gio might be right. It might just be right.
It's a bit of a humble pie as well, really, because I was here when the first review of Iron Studios, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And then put them both side by side, and it's quite a big difference, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's still things I'm not blown away with on the Iron Studios piece, but for me, it's sort of night and day, really, between the two pieces. You know, the Iron Studios one stands out massively.
What do you think? I mean, that's quite an interesting point you're saying. What you're basically saying is that we did the review of this piece when there was no one else to compare it with, no other Punisher. Yeah. And you were just like, I'm not really sure, I'm not too keen. You actually really like this from concept design, really like this from pictures, really like this from videos, right? And was considering buying this. And then, what happened?
I don't know, from the review, it wasn't really, there's nothing really blowing me away by it.
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's, and when you put them side by side, there's so many things that on this piece was done better.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way the material's done, it actually looks like he's wearing leather trousers.
Yeah.
It's not, it's all sculpted.
Yeah.
And
do you think that's one of them ones where it's like you can't appreciate the quality of something because it's quite a plain, almost, I mean, you know, it's plain in its own way, the character, right? He's all in black, you know, and all this business. And that, you know, it's not really bells and whistles Punisher, is he? But when you put two Punishers together, you pretty much get what the differences are. I mean, just going through base-wise, I mean, talking about the bases, I mean, for me, I think the Iron Studios base is probably the weakest part, right? But it's still better than the Sideshow base. Do you not think?
I like the concept on the Sideshow one, and I think if that was done on here and done well, I think that would be a 10 out of 10 piece. But it's just the paint, it sort of, I don't know, it looks sort of just moulds into one. I think it looks quite rubbery. The way I don't know, because it's thick paint.
Yeah, sure. Well, like with the brickwork and all of that sort of business.
Yeah, it just sort of like it should be more rugged, and but it doesn't. It just sort of like.
See, for me, I think that, you know, that this all sort of molds into one, and I think there's a lot of sculpt details on here that really should have been highlighted with. And I mean, Alex actually has a really good. He had a cup, didn't he? Have you still got that cup out? This is actually pretty much what you were promised at prototype level. Thank you, sir. Which is this kind of technique that's on this cup, which was a white sort of marble with, you know, a dark grey to black lines, and you can clearly see that is pretty much what they are giving you, something completely different. I mean, it actually now looks like this is concrete, doesn't it?
One of the problems is, I mean, in the prototype.
Yeah, go. Come.
In the prototype, this was actually like it's Kingpin's lair.
Yeah, so mansion.
You have Kingpin's staff, walking stick. So this was like Kingpin's steps. So it had this kind of look to make it look like it's
rich,
mansion.
wealthy. Yeah.
And then now it looks
garden
like
furniture.
it's like a derelict building. It's grimy, and I know it's been shot. There should be dust everywhere, but it doesn't look like something that just happened. It looks like something happened over years.
Yeah, about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, nice point. No. Just prove you're still here. Still here. Still working for the team. But, yeah. So, give me the base line. What's a better base? You're cool.
I think this is the better.
Still Sideshow. Right, okay, fine. So, we'll give that. I'll go with you. Yeah, I'll give you the benefit of that, and I'll say, okay, we'll go with that. So, then we start moving on to actually, let's get on to the bodies and working your way. We won't talk about accessories and all that yet, but we'll just go with, as this stands, as they are now, the bodies, the sculpt, the material, the paint. what is wrong and what's wrong and what's right and what's right?
I think overall, the whole the body, the leg, everything. I think if you look, it's quite flat when you look at the.
Yeah.
It looks like at the top, it's very square.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look at this one, it looks like it just looks like a proper bloke standing there.
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, definitely.
But I like the top half of the Sideshow one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When you compare that looks like it's.
I mean, when you go into sort of the pouches and like you're saying, the Iron Studios one, the bag, the trousers, the material on the gun holsters and the pouches, they all look different. All of the Sideshow stuff just all looks the same. Yeah. His belt, his pouches, his trousers, his top, all look like they're made from the same stuff.
There's probably more detail on the Sideshow one, but it's just lost, I think. And this sort of separate. It actually looks like real material. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like, in fairness though, I mean, he's got a gun in each side. He's got pouches all round, bullets up the side of the body. He's got a knife in his leg. I mean, he is fucking this one's armed. Iron Studios one is armed to the teeth. Sideshow one sort of like not so much. So maybe that's a little bit of a nod to get. When you're talking about sort of sculpt wise, what's the better sculpt on the body? What do you think? See, for me, I don't think it's even close. I think Iron Studios is miles and miles.
It just feels like it's
a better balance.
Yeah. He's too rigid. It's too. I know
it's awkward, isn't it?
Rigid.
It's really awkward as well. It's an awkward, very awkward sort of pose. It is awkward and stiff and very square and just a bit wonky. It looks a bit like that. I think there's definitely more going on with the Iron Studios one. I think there's definitely more balance to it. Definitely more. I mean, definitely goes to Iron Studios there.
I mean, people say it's quite probably a boring pose, a sort of traditional, but.
No, go on. Sorry, I'm being told off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, people say it's quite a boring pose, but it actually it sits well. I know it's got quite an awkward pose, but it's.
I think this is going over. Yeah. I think if you're in a hot country or warm climate, within a year you're going to see this start to move. I'm very concerned by the sort of weight distribution of this statue over time. And I think that this one actually has the bag to sort of counterbalance that, because I think the weight of this is slightly going over this side. So I think that they've compensated it with that bag. I really love the bag. I mean,
it's about the Iron Studios leaning.
Yeah.
Beginning.
Yeah. Was that first batch as well? Yeah. So you can see there's a magnet under this one though, isn't there? Isn't there like is it just a rest? Because I heard that there's a magnet underneath that foot, but we tested it on review. We were like trying to see. We couldn't feel any pull, could we?
There's quite a lot of people concerned about this. I don't know how far this was after the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I understood. Yeah. Good shout actually. Yeah.
And I think there's quite a few delays as well. I was not too sure it's going to come out. It's 2 or 3 times it got put back, I think.
Yeah, it got delayed a lot. It got delayed like 8 months or so.
When we're talking about head sculpts, you get 2 of each, and you get who gets the nod there, because we've gone base to Sideshow and body to Iron Studios. Who has the better heads?
I like the Sideshow one.
I'm talking 2 versus 2.
I like the exclusive head on the Sideshow one.
Yeah.
I prefer that on the Iron Studios, but I don't like the other.
Jim Lee one. Is it Jim Lee? It's Jim Lee, isn't it? Yeah. Surprising, because you love Jim Lee.
Yeah, but it just
I'll do nothing for you. So where would you go? Portraits. You go side to see. I go Iron Studios. I don't like either of these portraits really. I think the skull was the best one, but like from Sideshow. But I really dislike this one a lot.
Yeah,
so
I've got these all over the Jim Lee one.
It's
These all over the Jim Lee one.
Yeah, it's a nice portrait. I go Iron Studios for that, so we'll have to do that as a tie. When you're talking about edition sizes, night and day, right?
I'm not sure what the one is on this.
It's 1,000 total, and this is 6,000 total. So Iron Studios wins in that regard. What do we say about sort of switch outs and add-ons? With this, it's just the head change. With that, you must how many hands do you get with this? Numerous, right? Yeah, 2. You got 2 Uzis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? 2 Uzis and 2 heads. I think that is it, isn't it?
Wasn't there another one where you can hold a gun without the bag?
Yeah, in your hand. So yeah, it's like an Uzi in either hand, or that hand, and then with an Uzi, and then.
I forget that it comes out. I thought it was just one piece, but it's not.
Well, the extension is on his right.
Yeah. So you get like 2 hands. So you get 4 hands and then 2 heads. and this one you just get the extra head, but you do get the gun sort of smoke add-on thing. That would class as something you could take on and off, I guess. Yeah, and obviously, well, yeah, but I mean, is that a positive or negative? The rubber hands. The rubber hands is a tough one, because you know, when it first came out, people had a problem with the rubber hands, but they're genius because you can put literally at most guns into his hand. You can like buy them. You can buy some of those, you know, what are they called? They're almost like die-cast guns, and you put them together, you screw them all together, and you can get Punisher ones with the logos on them, white and black shotgun, all sorts of things that he can have in either hand. So, yeah, Stephen Blinoff, he collects those weaponries as well. I mean, geez, it took me 40 minutes to put the gun he sent me. I mean, it's only just a quarter scale gun, but it comes in parts, and you have to put it all together.
But the thing is, when you sort of say it's made of rubber, people assume it's cheap. Don't they?
Yeah.
They think, oh, it's a negative.
But imagine just being able to change to any gun you want. Literally any gun. You can literally buy a gun and chuck it. I mean, that's endless, isn't it? Endless fun with that. So that's, for me, I think the rubber hands is more of a strength than a weakness.
And they don't look bad either. I mean, it's...
The glove work is good, isn't it? It does look like gloves. It does actually look like he's wearing rubber, like leather gloves, which is a touch. Pose, we going with...
Orange Studio.
Switch outs.
Orange Studio.
Paint application.
You want to know how solid? Let me come back in.
Hello.
Hello. You want to know how solid this piece is, right? I went out and I come back, and one of my canvases had literally fallen off and landed on top of my picture, on top of this, and it was like resting on ledge, and on top of that, like at an angle, and the gun had gone through the canvas, and he was still holding it. He went straight through the canvas, but he was still holding the gun.
I bet that's the poor bastard that drew you that canvas was upset. Pose. Studios.
Yeah.
Paint application.
Definitely Iron Studios, but I prefer the paint on the face to the Sideshow one. The ones I don't like the paint on the face. I still think Iron Studios strong. It does look rubbery.
Yeah, they've tried to use like a what do you call it? Almost like a clear resin maybe to try and do it. Yeah. A lot of people are doing that with the heads to try and make them look more realistic, but they do. Yeah, they're trying to make them look. It is like a clear resin, and then they paint it, and it looks. You know, they did it with the first one was I think XM Magneto was the first that they tried that, the unmasked head, and that ended up looking. You know, a lot of the first batches were shockingly bad. How rubbery his face looked. Yeah, Prime one. Yeah, a lot that. Yeah, that's very true. Prime one.
Iron Studios, they did a dio with Superman fighting Doomsday.
Yeah, of course.
I love that dio, but the
face on Superman.
Awful. And I think the same thing. I don't know.
It's not on that. I mean, yeah, I completely get what you're saying. I know what you mean. If you were going to go out and buy a Punisher, which one would you buy?
It would be Iron Studios.
And that's coming from someone who was about to buy this and didn't like that.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was all ready to pull the trigger on this. Everything from the first time I saw it, it mainly the painted face. I loved it, but yeah, it's weird seeing them both together. How much it sort of changes your opinion of it. Really.
It's hard though. This is what I mean. This is why when I do the review and I'm talking about it, and I've got things in my head that I remember, and it's just funny how things like that sort of stick with you. But yeah, I think I'd agree with you. I think, to be honest with you, I think looking at the two of these, I think Iron Studios one is the definitive Punisher without any shadow of a doubt. I really do. I think it's a fantastic job. So I'm going to give the nod to them. What do you reckon? Give me your Vince. You go. Give me your opinion.
Yeah. When I first saw this when it first came out, I see the pictures of it and everything else. Obviously, when they actually advertised it and you see the actual prototype of it, it looked absolutely fabulous. It was a lovely piece. And looking at it in the flesh, I was dying to see this today, but looking at it in the flesh, it's very matte looking. It looks very plain Jane. And obviously, putting it up now with the Iron Studios it's in a completely different league compared to this 150%. It's if you look at the Iron Studios one, it, from the sports vest all the way down to the bag with the guns, everything else, it looks so real, and it's just eye popping compared to the Iron Studios. It looks very matte to me, and obviously, but I was looking forward to it, and it's a bit disappointing to.
What's it? Nice. Andy, you actually own this piece.
Yep.
You actually have the Sideshow one. What you say?
Right. So I'm going to stick by it. I think the sculpture in it as a whole is better. However, there are elements of the Iron Studios one that I put onto the Sideshow one, like the embossed logo. I think that would look fantastic on on the Sideshow piece, the difference between the colour scheme of the trousers and the top again, you were saying, Vince, it's matte.
Yeah.
It's too matte.
Exactly.
Whereas you can see the contrast in the trousers and the top.
Yeah.
Much better than the Iron Studios one.
If I said to you right now, right now, you can take either one of these home, and you can leave the other one, and you don't need to worry about it. You just take one you want.
Cheers, Alex.
Right? which one would
I'll
you
still
be?
take Sideshow.
Really?
Well, that's Gary, so you can thank Gary for that. That's not mine.
I still take Sideshow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. What do you think? Am I allowed to ask you? What are you doing here anyway?
It's one got camera. I got one fucking lonely over there. I don't know if I'm on camera now, to be honest. I think I'm off both of them. That's why I'm like leaning over a bit more.
It's fine. You go. You tell me.
I do actually. I mean, yeah, we get right there. I do really like the painted head on the Sideshow one. I love the way that you did mention this on a review, but I love the way that you can see the skin tones coming through underneath the white, and I think that's done really well, because I actually have a crow statue that I've been looking to get painted,
and you want that done.
I think this would actually be a great reference point for that kind of paint. I think the
prototype did it better though, didn't it?
I mean,
Prototype
that's
did it much
one
better.
of
The skin through the white was much better on the prototype.
I don't think they've done a bad job on this head at all. I think
No, it's not a bad job.
No, I don't have an issue with this head at all. I think it's really, really well done.
Best part of it.
I think that there are elements though where, I mean, the texturing on the trousers look great, and I mean they could probably add dust and whatever to do it, but the colours they've used look more faded and more like it's like an old pair of trousers, rather than it being dusty and whatever else.
Yeah.
They've missed the mark on the stairs, I think. Again, what I said earlier on, where I think that this is meant to be Kingpin's lair, mansion, whatever. So this should look like it's an expensive set of steps, and I don't think they caught that very well. I think this looks like the kind of grime on there is something that's been building up over years, not
it's not a well kept place.
Not a gunfight where it's some dust and stuff like that. So I think they missed that mark. But I like it. There's elements I really do like.
You shop it for yours.
But then if I then look at both of them together, the Iron Studios one, there's so much more going on. I've actually got a pair of those boots. They look like Red Wings. They look like the same.
Yeah, they do look like one.
They look like the same as ones.
Many times I've gone out with you and you've worn them, and I've always been worried.
They make me about 3 inches taller, but they also look like the ones he wears in Terminator 1. But anyway, so the boots, all the detailing on there. I think there's a lot more elements that break up all the black on the Iron Studios. I think the way the shotgun shells are there, the contrast of the red shotgun shell there as well, great. The skull's done better on him. I love the unmasked head that looks like Ray Stevenson from Warzone. And I think, again, overall, I have to say Iron Studios quite easily takes it.
Yeah.
By the way they've been executed.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree. So we've got 1, 2, 3.
So that was my long-winded answer.
So 4 to 1 at this exact moment. We're not going to ask Gary's snoring, but
yet.
Yeah. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, how long you had the Iron Studios one now? Yeah.
It's got to be close to a year.
Yeah, I still enjoy looking at it.
Yeah.
I was bored of this within 34 seconds. I come over, looked at it, turned it around, walked off, came back, and I don't know why I bothered coming back.
I think one of the problems as well is like, surprised. I had a couple of baseball bats, and
I remember.
You know, the thing is about them is, I had them as a kid, and you know they've been left on the floor in the park, and been left in the garden, and they don't go that colour. That wood colour is a really weird choice. And the thing is that the sculpt is there. You can see all this like
grains,
fantastic grain wood.
All there. It's all there.
But I don't understand the paint choice. I don't understand why it's like two-tone. It kind of goes down.
And two tones that it will never be.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's almost like it's.
You have like a dark wood and a light wood baseball bat. It could be either of those.
It's like it's got mouldy. It's like got like mould in it.
Yeah, it just like looks like an ashen sort of thing. It just does not come I've ever seen. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I think that the original prototype had much more grains in it and much more realism.
I think it's a shame because, as I say, when you look over the Sideshow one, the sculpt is fantastic. I do think that, unfortunately, the factory side
let them down.
missed the point.
They let them down.
And if you were to send this to a painter to get painted, it would take it to the next level. But again, as they are, the Iron Studios doesn't
Do the same with Iron Studios though.
because even though that's what I said before. Sorry, I had the Iron Studios one. When the Sideshow one came out and I saw it in New York, I was like, "Fuck!
Yeah.
I've just got one."
Yeah, I've just got
and
one.
now I've got to get another one. Now I'm going to have to get another one. And now I'm seeing this today. I'm like, I don't.
Dodged it.
Lucky. I was actually, and I'm also very disappointed because Mike. I was waiting for Mike to buy it so I could pick out really cheap later
Yeah,
on.
Mike. Yeah, Mike. We're going to say. So we keep Mike around. Like, yeah.
There'll be many more, I'm sure.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hope you enjoyed that. Tried to be as I don't know if I was too polite, but you know what I mean. It's
You weren't polite.
you don't want to beat a already dead horse to death too many times, you know.
Gary's in the corner crying.
Well, you know, some you win and some you lose. Gary's brought us some absolute amazing pieces that I've literally, you know, I've got very excited over, and you can't win them all. This is one of these characters I really feel that you can't fuck up on paint because it's, you know, the details have to be spot on because it is a very combat related sort of piece. So it shouldn't jump out at you, but the little details that are on there should stand out, and these are all so muted it just doesn't. So, and I think that's where it's really unfortunate, but life, you know, goes on. At the end of the day you could get it repainted and stuff, but you know, I give my 2 cents on it, and that's where we're at. So thanks very much for joining me and the team. Comment, let us know what you're feeling. You know, if you completely disagree, tell me why. Tell me why this is a great piece. Tell me what I'm not seeing, or what most of us are not seeing. You know, drop a like, and if I think what we'll do on this will be fun is actually give the red thumb to Iron Studios and give the red thumb to Iron Studios and give the green thumb to Sideshow Collectibles. And what we'll do is we'll see where we are at the end of it.
What about the ones who just give us red thumbs for the sake of it?
Well, then they better pick a fucking team. Give red thumb to Iron Studios, give green thumbs to Sideshow Collectibles, and let's see your vote. So, and if you just didn't like the video, you can just put it in the comments. We'll still get to see you. Don't just say that. I hate it. But and then join us on Instagram under Radd_Titan. Follow us there. You know, all the pictures of these pieces and some short videos will all be up there. So join us there. Follow us there. What's your thing called?
My Instagram?
Yeah.
Roberto Bag 10 Collection.
Check out Roberto Bag 10 Collection if you haven't already. I mean, let's be honest, he's got fucking
He's got 250,000 followers.
He's got 250,000 followers. He's doing fine. But I'm hoping if I say this, then maybe he'll say something for us. And I just take a percentage would be good. 1% I'll take. That'd be better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, $2.5 grand sauce.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Busting my ass. But and then join us on Facebook if you're not in a statue collecting group, radtitan.com statue collecting, and we'll all be there. So mad love team. Peace.